sometimes it's darkest before the dawn. Like in this moment right now, you're at the breakthrough. If it looks crazy and you're alone and you're like, what am I doing? That's because you're really close. So of course, things are gonna come in to be like, you can't have that. Are you sure you really want it? And that's all you gotta do is just keep putting one foot in front of the other. Like it might be tomorrow, everything changes. And maybe it's next week, but isn't that still worth waiting for? Even if it's next year, it's still worth waiting for, because then there's this whole other life that unfolds for you.
Every meaningful transformation starts with a risk. The risk to leave what's comfortable, bet on ourselves, and believe your life can be bigger. I'm Terry Gioma, financial educator, trading expert, and author. Welcome to the Risk Worth Taking podcast. Each week, I talk with inspiring guests about the pivotal risks that changed their lives, the moments they faced fear, uncertainty, or doubt and chose courage anyway. My hope is to help you think bigger, move smarter, and take the risk that can change your life too.
Today we are sitting down with actress and producer Paula Patton. From major motion pictures to powerful stories of resilience, Paula has built a career defined by undeniable presence. She starred in some of Hollywood's most celebrated films while carving out her own path as a creative entrepreneur. But beyond the spotlight is a woman who's taken bold risks, trusted her instincts, and continued to evolve through every chapter. Today, Paula joins us to talk about purpose, faith, transformation, and the risks truly worth taking.
Welcome to the Risk Worth Taking podcast, where we are encouraging and equipping ambitious people to take risks that will change their lives. I'm here with a beautiful guest, Paula Patton, and today we're going to talk about what it takes to take a big risk in your life. So let's get into it.
Yes.
So tell me, I've heard you say a lot about courage, and in our book, Erin has to have courage. That's the first thing she has to have. So I'm wondering for you, have there been any decisions that have been hard for you to make?
Oh gosh, a lot. But immediately, you know what I thought of when I thought of your story and when I read about the book and that journey, I remember deciding to be an actress, but I did that late in life. You know, I had gone to college, I had worked behind the camera, and I think I was 27, which is late in the game to decide you want to be an actor, but I had this feeling and this sense like, I really want to do this. And I lived in LA where it was like, everybody wants to be an actor. You don't want to say that, you know what I mean? But I just was like, you only get this one life that we know about. Yeah. So just go for it. And I did. I went for it with like full gusto and it worked out. But it wasn't without its challenges. But at the time, it was a huge risk.
I feel like sometimes the thing that holds us back is people, wondering
Yes.
like, what are people going to say?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember any conversations around that time, or who were you worried about?
You know what's crazy? Isn't it funny? We're worried about people we don't even care about. I mean, worrying about what anybody thinks is completely useless, and it will delay your progress. I can attest to it. I've done it. We still do it sometimes, but I try to do it less and less all the time as I get older, because no one's really thinking about you. Like for a couple minutes, they might say something, but then they're on to their lives. And then you're living your life through the lens of somebody else, right? So now you're not even like living your life for yourself. And then you can't get the messages, you know, from God and know where you're supposed to go. And that thing that's inside of you that tells you, I want to do this or I want to do that, that's your only truth. And you are meant to be, it's meant to be that scary that you're meant to be fearless in pursuing it no matter what people say, because they're absolutely going to say that you can't do it. But I like to use that as fuel. I'm one of those people that's like, when I'm running somewhere, please yell at me, you can't do it, because that's going to make me run faster.
Does that motivate you?
It motivates me a little bit. Maybe it's because where my dad came from. My dad grew up picking cotton in Mississippi.
Really?
His father was a sharecropper, and he went on to become a lawyer. And a lot of people told him he couldn't do it. Okay, he came from Memphis, Tennessee, and he drove out to LA, and he worked his way through college and became a lawyer. And that was a risk worth taking, and thank God he did it for our family. So like, I think life is full of these stories of people that take risks, so you can't afford not to take a risk.
Yes. Now, I wonder, did it make you more of a risk taker by seeing the risk that your dad took?
That's a really good question. You know, it inspired me, for sure. And I don't know, I think there's this something that comes over you when you just feel like there's something you have to do. Do you know? And I don't know if I ever did put it together with my dad, but I probably deep down in my subconscious or in my DNA, there was something in there that said, you got to go for it.
Was he around when you were growing up? Was he around when you were making your decision to?
I mean, so my dad he was an intellectual, so he would have probably not wanted me to be an actress, to be honest with you. He was probably a little bit like, what are you doing, Paula? So I had to stand up against him and be like, I have a dream. You know, I went to USC Film School to work behind the camera, and then I was suddenly going out in the world and auditioning and trying to be an actress. And, you know, I spent a year before I even got a call back. So in that moment, I remember I had been working I wasn't working at all, actually, but I was going on auditions. And a woman who had been helping me at the time, she once called me and she was like, actually, maybe you shouldn't do this. She was like, I got some feedback on that last audition you did, and you might want to like step back a bit. And I had an audition the next day, and I was a little bit defeated, but I called somebody that I loved, and I was like, what do you think I should do? And they're like, you know, you can't give up. But I'm like, I know. So I went to 2 acting coaches, and I worked my butt off that night. And I got my first call back. I did. I got my first call back. And then I don't remember if it was maybe several months. I don't think it was a year later I got my first job.
Wait. So can you imagine if you had listened to that lady?
Yeah.
Like, what would your life have been like if you had just said, well, maybe she's right?
I mean, I don't even know. It's a great question. And it really, that even as you say it reminding me all the time that you gotta just go for anything that feels like it's right in your heart, no matter what, because it would have been a loss.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And in the story, Erin, she's taking some risks. She's deciding whether she's gonna quit her job, and she ends up talking to her grandmother, and her grandmother was her guide to tell her, like, you gotta go do this. It sounds like these ladies were guides for you. Was there anybody else that was a guide for you to say, like, actually just do that thing?
Oh, I'm so glad you brought up your grandma, because I really believe, listen, if you don't have a guide on this earth, I promise you have a spirit guide. You have angels, you have your ancestors watching over you, and they're there to help and guide and protect you. So if you don't feel like there's anyone around you, you find out the name of your grandmother, your great-grandmother, an uncle, an aunt, I don't care. I promise you there's someone there rooting for you and trying to help you make miracles happen. If you ask for their help and God's help, they will make miracles happen.
And I've heard you talk about God several times.
Yes.
In your journey, how has God shown up for you?
Oh my gosh. Well, I don't think I had a real connection to God until I got sober about 8 years ago. I always had a sense of there was something bigger than myself, but I got more connected when I had to go on this journey to really just to trust that everything in life that you're going through, you can endure, and you don't need to numb it, and you don't need to hide from it, right? And that's what happened when you just decide, okay, I'm not gonna drink anymore. I'm just gonna live life, and it doesn't matter how painful this circumstance may be or scary it is. If I'm in it, it's because God put me there and I can handle it, And so that pushed me forward.
Now, going sober is a risk too. It's a risk that changes your life, right?
I mean, I didn't know it at the time. This is the truth. Something came over me and I was like, I can't do this anymore. And when I look back on that moment, I remember it clear as day. It was as if 2 paths just emerged in my life. And it was like, you're going down this path. And if I had known what that path was gonna bring me, I might not have gone on it. That's the truth, because life just, they're like, okay, you're ready to go on this journey. And that's the same thing. When you take a risk worth taking, when you make that decision, life's gonna put you on another path, and you are going to be tested. you will be challenged. There will be potholes and speed bumps and winds and tornadoes, but then there's gonna be rainbows and sunshine and all kinds of magical gifts, but you kind of have to push through this massive wall of resistance to get to the other side. And that's just part of the game of life. And that's why it's a life is a game. Yeah. Right? And it's like you decide, do you want to have fun playing it or you want to play it safe and be bored? It's up to you.
Not safe and bored. You just stay safe and bored, or you're going to go.
It's the truth, though. Because I think that if you were to go and visit people who are at the end of their life, how many of them will tell you they wish they had done something different? They wish they knew. Because the truth is, we don't have anything to be afraid of. We live in this fear, and there's nothing to be afraid of. Because I believe that the soul never dies. Yeah. No matter, it goes into different forms, right? It leaves the human form, but the soul never dies. So we're having this incarnation, this human, opportunity, right? Yeah. And that's why it's such a gift to wake up every day, because it's a chance to live out this life, and you're supposed to live it to the fullest. Or else, what's the point? So that's why people get to the end and they go, oh, dang it, I should have done more. I should have went for it, you know?
That's one of my biggest fears, actually. Getting to heaven and God being like, well, I had all this for you, but you were afraid, so you only got this in life. But you could have had all of this.
Well, I believe, the thing is, you'll probably always get another shot. You know what I mean? I think you get another chance to come down here and do it all over again. But you want to make the most of the one you have, without question. Yeah.
Now, you know that this is a story, so I want to actually go deep into the story of what it looked like from that decision with 2 pathways. And then I'd love to hear more about the story of the hardship. Because sometimes people think okay, if I take this risk, it's going to be great. No.
Yeah.
You should know that it's a risk for a reason. You might fail, but that's okay. It's a learning experience. So can we go first to the 2 paths? Where were you? What did it feel like?
Well, like I said, I knew I made a decision. I was like, I want to change my life, right? I can't go down this road any further. But I didn't know what was ahead of me. As I started to go down on the path, I was like, whoa, what's happening? Because essentially what happens is that life as I knew it started to strip away, because there was a lot of, I put it like this, masks that I was wearing, and a lot of illusions about what really made me happy and what my value really was tied to, because your value is not tied to how people think of you, the job you have, how much money you have, how you look even, it's an inside job. Period, right? And when you go inside, though, and all that stuff falls away, and that means friends and sometimes work and all sorts of things, so you can learn about who you are on the inside, it's really scary, because all the things you thought you needed can sometimes, in my case, a lot of them did. They fell away, and I had to rebuild, And, but in that, there's all this growth that happens, right? Your spirit is growing, and it's getting you ready, as you say in your book, for this next chapter of your life. And that's kind of like you're baking. So as you're on that journey of the risk, right? You're kind of you get challenged, you get knocked back, but then as you go forward, your muscle gets stronger, like going to the gym. And I align it to be, you're in the oven, you're cooking and getting ready for when you are ready to cross over to the finish line. And then there's gonna be another finish line, but you get my point, you know?
You're healing so many people right now, because even in the book, she has this moment where she's crying in the bathroom because she's in such a toxic work environment. And then she has to get out of the bathroom and put on a face and pretend like everything's okay. Yeah. And I feel like a lot of people, we've had those moments where we've been actually kind of crying inside or going through a really tough time, but pretending. And you just talked about the mask that we put on sometimes. And then let's go into this caution piece. So what kind of walls did you run into?
Oh, gosh. I think, the walls were loss, when you lose people you care about, and I don't know what other kinds of walls it was. I think it was more internal stuff, I went through that period where you where you beat yourself up about the past, the choices you've made in the past, things that don't matter. Like I think it's so important not to look back, especially when you're on this journey. The most important thing, and maybe why I can't remember the blocks, to be honest with you, because
And that's okay. Yeah.
girl, I left them
Right. You're like,
all the way
they're in
back
the
there. I don't
past.
look there anymore. Don't look in the rearview mirror, because it's not gonna serve you. It doesn't serve me. Looking back does not serve me at all. So for me, it's all about that forward journey. And I mean, I could just tell you that it just, life got hard. It just did. And there was a time when I was very alone. Like everything fell away and I was just sort of like having to walk life in this sort of like in the desert, essentially, where they call it like the dark night of the soul, where everything's stripped away and you're trying to figure yourself out. But then I had this incredible thing, which was my son,
Yes.
and I got to like live my life through a child and a child's eyes and the love and the innocence and the joy and the curiosity for the things that really matter in life. And as I started to like rebuild my life through him, everything changed, And so there's always something else, even when it feels like it's the hardest time in your life, that's helping buoy you up, to stay afloat. You just gotta look for it.
That part. I've heard you say that your son is your best friend.
I mean, he is. I'm still a mom. Don't get me wrong. He's got to behave. But yes, in many ways he is. He's the love of my life.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that. So after this caution part of taking a smart risk, then you go into confidence. But being someone who's been through it, through the journey, what would you tell someone who's been feeling alone? Like they took a risk and they've been feeling alone.
That they have to know that sometimes it's darkest before the dawn. Like in this moment right now, you're at the breakthrough. If it looks crazy and you're alone and you're like, what am I doing? That's because you're really close. Because I do think life's a bit of a game. So of course things are gonna come in to be like, you can't have that. Are you sure you really want it? And that's all you gotta do is just keep putting one foot in front of the other. And I promise you, I don't know. And that's the thing, you gotta live in that feeling like it might be tomorrow. Everything changes. And maybe it's next week, but isn't that still worth waiting for? Even if it's next year, it's still worth waiting for, because then there's this whole other life that unfolds for you. So you have to endure. And I think that part of like, I think people have that in them, right? Like a warrior spirit where you can kind of get into your own movie in your head where everybody is telling you can't do it, but you know you can. And if someone was to tell you that if you felt it and and like if you ever have a desire, that means it's absolutely 100% possible. You can make it happen. It's like your soul's imprint telling you that that's your destiny.
Yeah.
That's it. So everybody's dream is real as can be. It's about you deciding to take that risk worth taking.
Oh, I love it. They say faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. And what you described is faith. It's you haven't seen it yet. You know it's coming, but it's not there yet. Just keep going. Just have faith.
And I love that. And I think that there's also, I started to replace I know instead of hope. No more hope, because hope kind of still says maybe it won't happen. I hope it does. I know is I know.
I know that I know.
And you just go, they're like, that's never gonna happen. You're like, I know it will. Okay, hey, how you doing? And keep it moving.
Oh, I love that. Now tell me this, are there any affirmations that you say to yourself even now, or that during the journey that you used to say?
Well, I say now to myself all the time, everything's always working out for me. And you know what helps me is when it looks like it's not, right? Because you get bad news or something that your human self wanted to happen doesn't, that's still working out for you. And so, but in those moments, can you say, sometimes things work out for me? I think most of us can say, sometimes things have worked out for me. So if sometimes they have, and sometimes you felt God's hand, right? You felt that little miracle that happened, then it's always happening, because the bad news is the good news. You just can't see it yet. The hard times I went through were perfect. They had to happen so that I could be who I am today. So it was all working out for me, even though at the time it doesn't feel like it. So I'm always like, it's always working out for me. Sometimes things don't happen. I'm like, it's perfect. It's supposed to be.
Right.
And, something breaks, meant to break, don't need it anymore. and you just don't resist life. Like that's what's gonna cause you the most suffering, right?
Yeah.
So when you're like, oh, I don't want that to happen. And then if you let go, then you can let the information from source run through you, and then you're guided to your next steps. But if you're constantly like, I don't want that to happen, I didn't like that happened, you can't get the miracle. You can't get the blessing.
You'll be so frustrated you can't actually see the future.
That's exactly right.
And
enjoy it.
Yes. There's another scripture that says all things work together for the good of those who love the Lord. And it's one of those things where, you know what, you might not understand why something is broken right now, but in the grand scheme of things, these are things that are going to work together for your good.
Every time, 100% of the time. Yes.
Now let's move to confidence.
Okay.
So now you've come through courage, you've taken some risk, you fell down, you had caution, and now confidence. So confidence is when you find out the edge. Like, what is the thing, like what makes the people who've done the risk successful in it? What do you think is the edge now in your life?
Ooh, the edge. I think the edge is when you love all parts of yourself. When you know that there's parts of you that are messy, you know what I mean? That aren't perfect, but you're like, that's what makes me who I am, right? And that you stop caring what anybody else thinks. Like you really can't get to confidence if you're worried about what other people think of you.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's the biggest hurdle to cross, because once you cross that, then you know, you're in a place of loving yourself and all the parts of yourself, you know? And that's the only way in my mind that you can find confidence.
My book is out. Yes, it's finally here. It's in stores now. In all the places that you buy books, Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, get a copy of The Risk We're Taking for you and a friend. If you all have been thinking about taking a risk, this is the book for you. Erin learns how to take smart risks that change her life, and you can too. See ya. Go get your book. You just had this milestone birthday. What would you tell your younger self?
The milestone birthday she's talking about is I turned 50. And that's such a funny thing because, you know, in truth, it's funny because I'm like, I love that I turned 50 in many ways. And then sometimes you're like, ooh, should I have told everybody I turned 50? I don't know.
You look good.
You know, but because you know how, then you get into that because you know how people think about your age when they just hear a number. It changes the way they see you. But if you don't care, then it doesn't matter. And the truth is that one of the best things about growing older is that you realize that everything really does work out, that dark moment is gonna turn to something better, right? You know, that you will be able to endure everything. And so there's like, I would look back at my younger self and I would tell her that there's nothing to worry about. All that time you spent worrying was useless because you were always being taken care of. Always. And if it was happening, it had to happen. It was meant to happen. Everything in our life is meant to happen. You're not the victim of anything. And the people that make your life really hard, thank them. They're doing their job to help grow you up. And can you love them? Because I'm going to tell you one thing. The most important thing is to keep love in your heart for everybody, for the person that you think least deserves it. That will change and transform your life. Guaranteed.
Now I'm going to rapid fire some questions at you. You ready?
Maybe. I don't know. Let's see.
They're going to be good.
I know,
They're good.
I don't care what anybody thinks. No.
Right. That part. Okay. What's one thing people stay too comfortable in?
Safety.
True. Okay, we're rapid fire.
Knowing what, the known.
I agree with you. I feel like sometimes they can stay too comfortable, like in a situation that no longer fits them.
Yeah, you know, like staying with somebody too long that just because like you kind of like have something good, but it ain't all the way. Don't do that.
Right.
You can have everything you want. You can have everything you want.
What would you encourage people around taking risk in relationship?
That's a big one because I think it affects all parts of your life. Like never settle. I would make a list of all the things the ways you want to feel when you're with somebody. Not just like the characteristics, but how you want to feel and the interactions you want to have with them. And if that's not showing up, that's a sign it's not right. And when you make that choice, that courageous choice not to stay in something and settle, it affects every part of your life. But when you settle, it also affects every part of your life. Who shows up to fix your car? You know what I mean? Like the work partner, all of it all is connected. So like each choice you make, it's like a ripple effect.
Yeah.
And it affects all your other choices and all the other things coming into your life. So it's very important.
Do you have love now?
Maybe.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
What do you think?
But I always have love. I have
True,
love
true,
for
true.
a lot of people.
That's true. Yes.
Yes.
This is true. This is true. I don't yet. Pray for me on that. I'm
But
waiting
you have
for
love
my
for a lot
guy.
of people.
Oh wait, yes, I have
Yes.
love for a lot of people, but the guy part, we're still waiting on that.
That's okay. Just know it's gonna happen. I was alone for a really long time, and I'm not gonna go into the whole thing, but I'm just gonna say that. And I took choices, like I made choices through that journey, and decided I'd rather be alone, and get really comfortable with being alone for a long time, And then I just stopped doing any chasing about anything. You know how you go to a party and you're like, I wonder if I see somebody or if I'd give somebody the eye or stay longer or stay shorter. Nope. I knew that God was going to bring me my king. I didn't have to be anywhere at any particular time. I didn't have to look in any kind of way because it was going to show up. And I just started to walk like that.
Yeah. Was the wait worth it?
Absolutely.
I love it. I love it. I'm taking your word for it. I'm gonna be like, well, Paula
just trust.
said-
Don't look around. I don't think you should look around. I know they got the dating apps and the whole thing, but if your soul tells you to do that, then maybe that's your soul's telling you. But if you're doing it because people tell you to do it, I wouldn't. I would just trust and know and enjoy your life to the fullest. And I promise you, that's when it just kind of shows up. Yeah.
I do think that I'll be like the best version of myself if I do that. Like, like just focusing on me, enjoy
Anybody
me, and
be
heal
lucky
me.
to have you, girl. You got to walk around knowing they'd be so lucky to have you. So lucky. That's what you got to walk with. They would be blessed.
I am the risk worth taking for a guy.
You're the gift. You are the gift.
I love it.
Period.
Here's another one. Why do you think high achievers struggle to take risk?
Because they want to be perfect. Oftentimes that high achieving is because they want everybody to tell them they're doing a good job. And yeah, that people pleasing will get in your way.
It will. What do you think they should do instead?
Not people please. You know what I mean? It's like it's probably it's not gonna happen overnight, but it starts by you just making the intention, like, what would happen, like, if I live life for myself? And, like, look at the fact, like, sometimes you don't even realize you're doing it, but if you sit with yourself, you'll realize, oh, I just want mom and dad to be proud of me. I want all these friends to say how great I am. But it's so fleeting, right? You can never keep pleasing these people, right? Like, life has ups and downs. Like, you got to be okay with you, and you want to just make yourself happy. And then really, because you make yourself happy, you're making everybody else happy, and you don't even know that by your risk, you inspire somebody who doubted you.
Yeah.
Always that happens, right? And they come be like, I can't believe you did that. And you're like, well, I thought you didn't think shit about, excuse my language.
Right,
You didn't think I was nothing.
You didn't say nothing kind to me. You told me not to do it.
And now you're telling me, wow, how'd you do it?
It's true. I think one of the biggest risks that people take is letting go of a title. Because they're worried about, like, what are people going to think of me if I don't have that title anymore? And it could be any title. It could be a work title. It could be title of married. It could be, oh, I'm not a wife anymore. Oh, I'm not, such and such executive anymore. And they're oftentimes worried about what are people going to think?
Absolutely.
Okay, so some of these are going to be tough.
All right.
Ready?
Uh-oh. Yeah, let's go for it.
So this one is around, it's also about risk.
Okay.
But what are you tolerating right now?
Not a lot. I mean, I don't want to throw somebody under the bus, but I'm not. Anyways.
You're like, damn, that person right there.
No. I feel like, I'm just that's probably what 50 is, right? Is you start to have boundaries, and you get to a place where you're like, when things don't feel right, you know what it is really for me? It's all about my gut. And if something doesn't feel right, I know it's a no. And I know that, or the interaction's a no, But if it feels good inside, then it's a yes, and let's do it. And even if it doesn't make sense. Right. So I don't want to tolerate that that feeling doesn't feel good.
Yeah. And with that knowing of your gut, I feel like because you have the Spirit, like because you have the Spirit of God, like He's also directing you.
Oh, without question.
So it's sometimes we just have to trust it, even though we don't really understand. It's like, you know what? I just have a feeling.
Yeah.
Now that also can be a risk too, going by your feeling when nothing logically makes sense.
That is, but it is the one that tells you the truth. The gut, and that God is connected to the gut, is the one telling you the truth. Absolutely. But it is scary because everybody will be like, but you have to go. Like you already said you were going, but your body's telling you, I really don't want to go. There's something's not. I don't mean when you're just feeling lazy. I'm telling you when you're like, something don't feel right. You got to trust that. Don't go. Don't do it.
And I feel like, and we always do. We then are like, I feel this way, but I'm gonna do this other thing that my mind says.
You know what's funny? I do that sometimes, of course. But the other day, just last night, I was like, this doesn't feel right for me. And I know I told this person I would. And you try to do it within a good amount of time. You know, like, I was supposed to do it in a few days. And I was like, I can't go because of this reason. And they were like, I don't even need to know the reason. It's fine. And it was so funny because I was saying to my friend Victor, I was like, it's wild because how many times did I go to things and I didn't even know that if I had just said what I felt, the other person might have just been like, no problem. Yes. And then you're there doing something you don't want to do.
Yes.
And you could have not. And and how does that change the trajectory of your life, right? Like, who knows? Because like each place we go, and when I leave this studio, it's going to take me on another journey somewhere else. So like, all those choices and making those hard decisions make a difference, I think.
That one can be so tough because you don't want to let someone down.
Yeah.
And for myself, like if I've said something, I'm like, oh, my word is what, I said I'd do it. But oftentimes you're right. You get there, you don't really want to be there. So you're not having the best time. Yeah. Then you get home and you're like, why did I do that? When you could have just spoke up.
Yeah.
But it can be risky because you're wondering, well, how are they going to perceive me? What will my reputation be? And it could be even something small, like, I don't want to go watch a movie tonight, girl.
Yeah.
But still, you don't want to let someone down. But that can be the best risk worth taking, too.
I think so. And I think that when you're honest, you can't lose with honesty, right? Like, I feel like if you're just like, I don't feel like it. And I'm not going to tell you that I got a doctor's appointment or anything else, right? Like, just like the truth, then the truth sets you free.
Yeah.
Every time.
And people can relate.
You can't, you don't know how people are going to respond. That's out of your control.
But I feel like when you do talk from your feelings, people can relate to feelings. Even if it's just, it doesn't resonate with me right now.
Yeah.
They can't fight that.
They cannot.
How you gonna come back? No, it should resonate too. You better get this resonator.
It's true. And I think that people can feel the truth.
Yeah.
And that's also it. So when you don't lie about why you can't do it, they know it and they can feel it and they're like, okay.
And it's fine.
Yeah.
That's a good one. All right, 2 more and then we'll be finished. We'll wrap up.
Yes.
Ooh, this is a good one.
Okay, Look, see, I still have a little alarm bell in me.
Right. No, we're good. We're right.
We're good no matter what.
What's one sign that you've outgrown your environment?
One sign that you've outgrown your environment. You feel bored, you know, like you're not feeling inspired. If you're not excited to like greet the day, I think it'd be better to greet the day with a little bit of like nervous energy about like, I don't know what's gonna happen, than just be like, Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because when you're taking the risk, you might have some nervous days, but I would take a little nervousness, even though I don't think you should be, but it's life and we all get nervous and we feel, we feel feared. It's a part of being human. We just got to keep fighting against it. But I think that energy is better than just, I know it's coming. Here I am.
That complacent,
I mean?
bored, doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
I don't really care. Yeah.
Yeah. It's time to move on.
It is. All right. Well, is there anything else? Like, there's a couple more cool questions, but I'm gonna pass it to you. Is there anything else that you'd like to
let's
share?
see what's on there. Let's see what you have in there.
No, I'm just kidding. I was like covering my face. All right, the last. Okay, this is actually a personal one.
See, I can't help myself. It's like a trigger.
You're like, wait, what are you gonna say? All right.
It's such a funny thing, because it is really funny when you do these. You don't know where someone's going to go. And that even deciding to be interviewed can be a risk that you have to take, right? Because you don't know what's coming, You don't
know the questions.
But I have to be like, what is it? Not
You want me to ask again so that you can
no,
respond?
Let's keep it authentic. I'm a work in progress, okay? I'm a work in progress. I'm under construction, as my friend Victor likes to say.
True. So this one is current decisions that you're currently making.
Yes.
So I know that you've executive produced many things. You've done several series, and what big risk are you taking now?
The biggest risk I took recently was to write a screenplay with my friend Victor, and we finished it. And I'm going to direct it.
Congratulations.
And that's going to be my biggest risk taking, to just say that. So that's the one.
How do you feel?
Well, we're still in the beginning stage of I got to get all kinds of things together for that, but I made the decision.
Have you directed before?
I haven't. I went to USC Film School where I directed some short films, but I've never directed a feature-length film, no. So, wish me luck.
I will. It's going to be amazing.
Thank you.
I already know it's going to be amazing. Now, okay, so we talking about the risk worth taking, and you're about to be a director of this film that you wrote. What do you want people to kind of receive when they get this final work?
Oh, you mean how I want people to feel afterwards? I think that I hope that people feel inspired, feel connected to their ancestors, and a sense that they can embark on something scary, and trust that it's leading you to your life's purpose. Funny enough, it's a whole different thing, but it's in that world.
It's in the world of the risk. Yeah, the risk we're taking.
See, I don't think anything happens by chance. It's not a coincidence we're sitting here together.
Not at all.
So
not at all.
It's pretty amazing. Yeah, synchronicities are amazing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Paula.
Thank you, my love.
It's been such a pleasure to have you on the podcast.
It's been a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much.
Bye, everyone. This has been Terry Gioma with The Risk Worth Taking, and I've been sitting here with the beautiful Paula Patton. I hope this encourages you. You got this, because it's the risk worth taking.